Yo, and welcome back to another episode of the Relationship Schools podcast here, coming at you from Boulder, Colorado. Jason Gaddis, your host, and I'm so grateful to be here again. Damn. This podcast is about love. It's about connection. It's about getting the most out of your relationships as possible. Like, why would you settle for mediocre relationships? Well, people settle because they don't know any different. They do not know what is possible. You know, you could be in a safe relationship where you feel all the things I'm going to talk about today. You can have that, but you've got to double down and go get it. You got to learn how. It doesn't just come to you, guys, out of the sky. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have had enough relationship challenges in your life that you want to learn. For other people, maybe it's easy, this part of their life. But I'd say for most people, especially a long-term relationship, it's kind of challenging. So we drill down into long-term partnership here. We do talk about friendships, work relationships, and more. We interview tons of experts, neuroscientists, my wife, and couples, and many other people, just to help you. So for those listeners, thanks. There's a lot of you smart couplers, relationship schoolers, have been listening for a long time. Okay, two things. If you want to join our free Facebook group, go to relationshipschool.com/community. Right? We have thousands of people in there actively. It's amazing how active that group is. Our coaches are in there providing comments at times. I jump in there. I do Facebook Lives in there. So get in there, okay? Join us. And leave us a review if you want. Here's one from Vulnerable AF. Jason and his team have helped introduce me to a practical vision of what healthy partnerships look like and how to get there. Level up. Thank you for that review, Vulnerable AF. Really appreciate it. I need to have a shirt that says that. Maybe I'll make one. Okay, if you want to leave us a review, just scroll down on Apple Podcasts with your thumb and you can swipe over to 5 stars. Boom, you're done. If you want to comment like some of these folks have, it's always helpful. It's just really cool to read your words of kindness and care and that you're actually getting value here. So thanks. Okay, in this episode, I want to talk about the 4 needs you've got to have in place if you want security in a long-term partnership. Quick context, I asked many relationship experts about needs, and I had my own journey. I was always teaching about needs, but I kept changing my teaching in my 9-month training. And I was like, after Ellen Bader, not my wife, the other Ellen Bader, couples therapist in California, and I got into a lively discussion about needs. Go back and listen to that episode if you want. I dug even deeper and figured out that we do in fact have needs in relationship, and that there's a big difference between an insecure partnership and a secure one. And it all comes down to needs, right? Are your needs being met or not? And if they are, you're more likely to have a secure partnership. Are you offering needs? Are you giving the same needs to your partner, future partner, past partner, or not? So what's so cool here is it's very straightforward, and I teach this in every course I teach now, from our weekend immersion to our 9-month training, and it's really the framework of so much that I share about partnerships. So I wanted to share with you here because I think this is a big takeaway podcast. Okay, so you're going to want to take notes. It's very straightforward, and if you want a deeper cut, obviously come train with us. Okay. So let's first talk about what an insecure partnership looks like. So there's 2 fundamental needs all human beings have, and the first one is attachment. You can't live if you don't have another person taking care of you, if you're a little baby, right? And that baby, to get that need met of attachment, needs to express itself. It needs to cry and kick and scream, laugh, coo, etc., in order to get its needs met of attachment, to keep the parent from leaving. All right? So those are your 2 fundamental core human needs, right? Attachment and self-expression. On top of that are 4 other needs. There's actually 10 needs that I've mapped out, and I'm not going to get into all 10 here, but I have reworked Maslow's hierarchy of needs because it's outdated. Maslow's needs he wrote that. He actually didn't draw the diagram. I've read the book now, where the original work of Maslow's came from, of his hierarchy of needs. And it's actually a very incredible model, and it's been replicated millions of times. I mean, you just Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it's amazing what you see and how so many different fields refer to it. But if you relied on Maslow's hierarchy of needs to get security in a long-term partnership, you'd be screwed. Okay? It's totally outdated. Attachment isn't even on fucking Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? So on top of my model of needs, we have attachment, self-expression, and then we have 4 other needs. And these are required to thrive and to have security in a long-term partnership. And when I say needs being met, these are also needs that you must meet. So some of you might sit there with your arms folded saying, hey, he or she is not meeting my needs. These are my needs now. Well, you have to be willing to offer the needs that you want in return. Okay, and I always say that it's best to start with giving before you receive. So can you, if you want to be understood, for example, can you give understanding to someone before you want to be understood? All right? Ask yourself that. Okay. 4 needs on top of those 2 fundamental needs. So the first one I want to talk about is feeling safe. Okay? And I got these primarily from Dan Siegel. And Dan Siegel has so many brilliant books. He covers this in his book Brainstorm, and then in his new book that I'm interviewing him about soon, in a couple of weeks, The Power of Showing Up. And it's a parenting book. So check that out if you want. So this is heavily influenced by Dan Siegel's work. And he calls it the 4 S's. And I changed them a little bit because his doesn't quite work for me. So I'm modifying it a little bit. But he gets all the credit here because the guy's an attachment wizard. So the first one is feeling safe. All right. And when I say safe, it's feeling emotionally and physically safe. If you cannot have a secure partnership if you don't feel emotionally and physically safe. If you're with someone who's always raising their voice, hitting you, making threats all the time, that's not safe. Okay? And every nervous system in the world is different. So what you think is safe is going to be different than what I think is safe. So you have to define that for yourself. What do you need to feel emotionally and physically safe? Those are other needs, perhaps. But all of those boil down to just the feeling of emotional safety. Okay? This is enormous in a partnership. The next one is feeling seen. Seen. What does that mean? Well, in personal growth circles, we say, hey, I don't feel seen, or I really see you. It just means that I know you. I understand you, and I see who you are. I see what your values are, and I actually can reflect that back. All right? So the growing child needs to feel seen in order to develop adequately. In an adult partnership, if you consistently do not feel seen for who you actually are day in and day out, that does not promote a secure partnership over time. All right? So you need to feel emotionally and physically safe, and you got to feel seen. All right? Those are needs. All right? And these, again, are not negotiable for security. They are negotiable for insecurity as much as you want. That's okay. Okay, third need, also an S. So these are very easy to remember because they all start with S. Third need that Dan introduced me to was soothed, feeling soothed. And soothed means not like, so you imagine a baby's crying, the parent comes in and soothes the baby, and eventually the baby stops crying, all right? In an adult partnership, it means I'm upset, and if you're my partner, you soothe me by saying, honey, what did I do to upset you? And is there something I can do to make it better? Let's fix this. Let's work through this. And you repair the conflict, the snag, the rupture, whatever we went through. You soothe it. And I do the same for you. I soothe you when you're upset. If you had a hard day at work, I'm like, honey, I'm here for you. All right? What's up? Tell me more. I soothe you. All right? So we feel safe, we feel seen, we feel soothed. And the last one is we need to feel supported and challenged in our life. So if you think of a growing child, a child needs to be both supported, like, I believe in you, and challenged, like, no, it's not okay for you to stay up till midnight. You're 5 years old. You're going to bed right now. No, you can't just not go to school. You're going to school. So boundaries are challenges for the growing child. Same with an adult partnership. You support your partner, honey, I believe in you, and you challenge them, honey, I want more from you. I know you can do better. And no, it's not okay with me that you text your ex all the time. That's feels unsafe to me. I need to feel safe. In order to feel safe, I need you to not do that. All right, you can ask for those things. Doesn't mean they're going to meet those needs, or they should meet those needs, but you two have to work that out. But I guarantee you the feeling of I need to feel supported and challenged is a non-negotiable need that promotes security. Okay? Think about it. If you don't feel supported, like your partner doesn't believe in you and they won't ever challenge you outside of just being kind of triggering assholes sometimes, but they actually like a conscious challenge, that doesn't promote security. It promotes complacency and fear and insecurity. All right? Okay, so think of these 4 S's. They're 4 needs that you've got to have for a secure partnership over time. Okay? They aren't negotiable. It's not something you say, I need this today, I don't need it tomorrow, because you're back to insecurity again. All right? Now, if you want to learn how to actually ask for these and stand up for yourself and get practice owning this over time, then come train with us. Work with one of our coaches. Like, really get this in your cells, because you probably grew up in a family where these needs were not honored. And so therefore your development was compromised. All right? You grew up feeling insecure. You doubted yourself because who you actually are didn't get reflected back. So you created a strategy to get love and avoid getting left, and that doesn't promote security. That keeps you in an insecure position and disempowered in a partnership once you become an adult. All right? So yes, you might have needs on top of these needs, like monogamy, or living in Detroit versus New York, or Alaska versus Taos, New Mexico. That's okay. But that still comes down to 4 needs. All right? I could make an argument, a strong argument with any of you, that any need on top that you want to add on probably can be boiled down into these 4. So start here. All right? But do not ask for these needs to be non-negotiable and to be met unless you're willing to give them for the rest of your life to another person and promote that level of secure partnership. Okay? All right. Hell yeah. Want more? Come play with us. We already have now enrolled the relationship school. We are live. It's moving. We have dozens of people from all over the world joining us. I'm stoked to serve them for 9 months. It's going to be epic. If you didn't get a chance to join us, it's okay. You can join us in the fall. We are taking applications now for the fall, okay? Enrollment is closed for the winter-spring class, but you can still get in for the fall. Okay, just go to relationshipschool.com/DPIR to apply. And if you're just like, hey, I just listened, this is my first podcast, cool, come join our free group, relationshipschool.com/community. It'll take you right to the Facebook group, all right? Okay, folks, have a beautiful rest of your evening, day, morning, wherever you are in the world. And thanks again for listening. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Relationship School fans and Smart Couple listeners, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, all right? Do us a favor, subscribe, share one of these videos with a friend, all right? We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.